think global but act local.
Data is one of the missing piece in the whole puzzle, and I'm glad we have it now in the UAE market.
Security incidents are the most important things that keep me woken up in the middle of the night with some cold shivers. I believe a lot in if life gives you lemon, make lemonade. So here I am. I've been given something, use it to the best of your ability.
So I want to be a Sufi out of this all these problems and get away.
Congratulations on the launch of Zoho's new data center. Today, I am with the leadership of Zoho. Sitting beside me,
Haider Nizam on the right, CEO, Zoho, Middle East and Africa.
and on the left, I'm accompanied by Shailesh Kumar Dave, who is the group CEO of Zoho Corp. Thank you for joining us today, and congratulations, as I said, for the launch of our new data center in the UAE market. Well, I want to talk about how does this affect Zoho globally, Shailesh, and Haider, you can tell us what aspect is this bringing to the UAE market. To start with you, Shailesh.
So first of all, we're very happy to launch these two new data centers in the UAE region, one in Dubai and other in Abu Dhabi. This is a part of our overall global launches of data centers. So far, we have around 20 data centers around the world and close to 25 to 30 network POPs that accelerate the traffic towards these data centers. And the main reason behind having these local data centers is data sovereignty and compliance to government rules or the rules of the land. So, with the business conditions changing, with a lot of political conditions changing, there are reasons for governments to come up with laws, especially related to data of their citizens. And one of the most important things is to ensure that the data resides within the boundaries of the country, as well as have some restrictions on how much data is going outside the boundaries of the country. We are happy to say that with around 20 data centers around the world, our main focus is to be compliant with the laws of the land as well as that of the government, so that government, semi-government or enterprises can use our services both in Zoho and Manage Engine without worrying about compliance requirements and just focus on their business.
Haider, this brings me to you talking about what this is for us in the region.
No, definitely, as a region, Middle East and Africa we are doing a great job in terms of growth, in terms of product adoption to the overall our global numbers. So to accelerate the growth further, and this is very important for us to have a local data center, especially in the UAE market, where government and semi-government want to be, they are excited to be onboarded into Zoho ecosystem, but this is stopping them. As a government, UAE government has mandated, cloud vendors like us to really have a local data center and also compliant to some of the certification though issued by the authorities, especially a desk certificate, which Zoho has already got that certificate, and we are now truly compliant, ready to onboard any government, semi-government or enterprise customers into our data center.
Thank you for that. And continuing with you, Haider, since data centers, for any one of our viewers to understand, requires major investment. This calls for a long-term commitment, and Zoho stands for this. Why did we choose UAE as our step to building this data center?
No, everyone are choosing UAE to really move their home. This seems to be the their more preferred destination for many people, given the fact that the government is very business friendly. The safety and security of the whole government assurance from the government matters a lot.
True.
Both from the residential perspective and also from the business perspective. And we see the business thrive here. And in that sense, this is a very important market for Zoho, and we are keen on investing substantial our amount in this region. And 2023, the press meet, we said we are going to invest 100 million AED in this local market.
Absolutely.
And today we are happy to honor that our commitment with the UAE data center launch both in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So that says that we are truly committed to the market, and as you rightly said, we play the long game. Whatever it is, be it business or be it partnerships, and being a privately held company, we have that luxury of playing that long game, and we are here to stay. So that's why we have a local office, local hiring, local pricing, products localized for the local market, and a local data center. So that's a very compelling offering to our customers.
Thank you, Haider. I go back to Sailesh. In practical way, Sailesh, we've always been talking about the philosophy of sustenance and transnational localism. Bringing those two together as the CEO of Zoho Corp, can you break this down in layman terms as to what practical changes are we going to look at with the data center coming into our region?
So, first talking about transnational localism. So, this is something we have been doing for the last 6 to 7 years. So, the main focus, if I were to break down that word, it's actually a mouthful. So, if I were to break it down, it basically means go and have centers or offices around the globe. So, think global but act local, and towards this we have set up offices in US, Europe, Middle East, Singapore, and lots of other countries where initial leader who has been in the organization for long, in this case Haider himself, who has been with us for more than 25 years, moves to a new region, hires locally. That is the most important point. Hires locally, builds the talent, because even in Zoho Corp, where we have most of our employees based out of India, where the engineering happens, a big focus has been on to hire fresh talent and then train them in our own ways and methods. So, similarly, even in other regions, when we go and set up, there is a lot of focus on skilling people, having them onboarded in our own way, on so that they know the culture of the organization. So, towards this, somebody senior from the organization moves there, sets up the office, and now if you take UAE as a case in point, we are close to 100 employees in the office and doing a lot of work, very customer facing work, be it sales, marketing, customer support, customization, doing some engineering work with respect to ensuring that the products are compliant with the local laws and regulations. And given the growth rate that we are seeing in UAE, I am sure that we will be increasing the team size. And this is not only in the UAE region, wherever we see growth, wherever we feel there is a lot more investments we can do in a local region. So, we go there, set up the office, and our byline being think global but act local.
Haider, we always come to you for regional updates, and you have been the face for Zoho in the Middle East and Africa region. With the growing presence and the leadership that you bring on the table, what do you have to say about those organizations that rely on third-party data centers? Such competitors that are there out against Zoho are purely doing that. We run a different game. What philosophies are you bringing this to the region with?
No, always Zoho, we have believed in providing the end-to-end experience to our customers. And all the pieces of the whole jigsaw should be served by Zoho, so that we have a control and governance on every aspect, every touch point of the customers. And that's why data is one of the missing piece in the whole puzzle. And I'm glad we have it now in the UAE market. So against other vendors, how we stand better is like owning the whole compliant entire stack, and other vendor hosting on third party are at the mercy of the third party, at the cost structure of the third party vendors. Right, today we can lower the cost structure because we can optimize our data center operations as we move along. In fact, we have optimized in last few years, and in next coming few years we optimize it. We can pass on that benefit to our customers against vendors hosting in AWS or Azure. And in fact, the AWS Azure prices are even skyrocketing. It's getting increased. So which means that you don't have any other choice just to pass on that cost increase to the customers. So that's what many vendors are doing, and we are doing the reverse. We want to optimize it, have a more lean and more efficient operations, and want to pass on that benefits to our customers. And that's how we're able to provide an affordable pricing, local pricing in many markets, especially in African countries, and still we are thriving and profitable in those markets because of this strategy.
Since we're running this for decades, Sailesh, you've been running the R&D, the engineering for Zoho for decades. What is this one thing that keeps Sailesh Dave awake at night?
Security incident, right? So, if you were to
He'll be in jail if we as a CEO of Zoho.
right. So, see, customers are storing their data in a data center, governments are storing the data in data center. As they say, it takes only one ball. If you were to use a cricket analogy, or if you were to use a football analogy, if the goalkeeper, he might have done 10 saves, right? But that if he misses to save one ball and it hits the goal, then it's a goal, right? So, the people who are trying to hack into the data center, they just need one security hole. So, you will have to be vigilant 24/7 all throughout. Your processes should be in place, and even if something bad happens in data center, you need to kind of find it out, sniff it out, and then ensure that it is contained, and then keep the customers informed. There is a lot of work that happens, and in all this, and at the top of it you get bad press, right. So, security incidents are the most important things that keep me uh, woken up in the middle of the night with some cold shivers. Hopefully, they do not happen because we have done our homework. So, there is a lot of focus on security, compliance, audits, third party audits, tools, engineering practices, data center operations. In all this, there is a big focus on security. Hopefully, that will stand us in good stead.
Haider, I have a question for you which always reminds me to go back. You are the face, you're running this region. You started as a director of technology. We call you by many titles. You're the first man who wrote the line of code for Zoho Creator, our application. Who truly is Haider Nizam? What brought Haider Nizam to be Haider Nizam today?
No, I think it reflects our Zoho's culture. So the shape of every individual in this organization is shaped by the organization by itself. Of course, you have your own, your family, your how you've been brought up in that culture. Again, we spend tons of time, in the office, in our and serving a company for last 28 years is kind of shaped by the culture of the organization, right? And our organization, right, all the leaders, you could see that they are really humble, down to earth. Everyone are really into the technology. Our DNA is a technology, and which means that, and we think long term, right? So these are the some of the traits has been influenced by the culture, and it's also we are passed on to our next generation set of leaders, right? So that's how we are able to manage and maintain this culture, though we are now 18,000 people company, right? So that's what defines Zoho, and that's what defines most of the leaders in Zoho as well.
Last question for the both of you. If you had one chance to wake up as someone else, who would it be and why?
Okay, I mean that's a wild question. I don't know, maybe Feynman, Einstein, it could be anybody, right? Okay, maybe some living character, yeah. Like let's take somebody like Andrew Ng. I would love to be one Andrew Ng because technically good as well as can explain things very well, right? Or maybe Terence Tao, right? The mathematician. He is the youngest field medalist. I mean, how much? There's a lot of brains out there. So any of this. But otherwise, as they say, if I believe a lot in if life gives you lemon, make lemonade. So here I am. I've been given something. Use it to the best of your utilities.
Okay, and how about yourself?
No, I would pick Steve Jobs because of his, attention to detail and the business acumen. What matters for the user, what matters for the
Absolutely.
customers is what you have to really focus on. I think that's very important, as not just for me, for many of us like leaders. And he's a true inspiration, right? And the business context. Of course, on a personal context, I want to be a Sufi out of all this problems and get away, right? But definitely on the business context,
Yes.
Steve Jobs is the man to look upon.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today and all the best. Congratulations
Thank
for
you
the
so
data
much
center.
for having us.
Thank you so much.